What's going on YouTube? This is TeamBIS here. I'm back with another deck profile. I know it's been a long time, but yeah. First up, I'd like to give a shout out to Darkwing0x0 for drawing me this really sick mat right here. It looks pretty badass. Yeah. Also, some updates. I'm not going to be posting up the gadgets for the Win versus Yu-Gi-Oh! Overdrive Game 3 because it's a really long ass video, and most of the time when you're watching it you can just hear a bunch of static electricity and you barely hear anything that's going on. But if you're wondering who won, it was Gadgets for the Win, surprisingly. Yeah, Campy got touched by Salvo Gadgets, which is depressing. Okay, as for the deck profile, in case you haven't wondered, this deck is Tengu plants. I've been playtesting with it, and this deck is truly amazing. So let's start with the monsters. We run 3 River and Tengu. I've seen people run only 2, but really 3 is more consistent than with 2. So if you guys have 2, you run this deck, I highly recommend going getting a third one. You got 2 Debris Dragon, pretty much a staple in just plant decks. He's self-explanatory, and then you got 2 Caius to get rid of Shein or Stardust. You got the Plant Engine, 2 Lone Fire, 1 Glow Up Bulb, Spore, Glow Up Bulb, Dandelion, and 1 Titanial. Surprisingly, I've been playtesting around with her. She is not ever dead once. Even if I draw her, I usually get her out. So yeah, really, you should playtest around with her, because even if you do get her out, hard to come by if your opponent usually has a hard time to get over her. Yeah. 2 Raikos. These 2 are the only Lightsworn cards that I run in here, because the purpose of this deck is not milling. Because if you mill a Tengu while you have one out on the field, then it really sucks to be you. I mean, sure, you can blow up a card, but you can't do amazing plays now that you've milled a Tengu while you had one out on the field. So yeah, I only just run 2 Raikos. And then you got 1 Gores, because he's a game changer. He's self-explanatory. 1 Plague Spreader Zombie. I've been playtesting around with him, and really, he's truly amazing, because like, if you have a Tengu in your hand, and you already have one out on the field, because his effect says you can only get a Tengu from your deck, I just usually top deck 1 Tengu that's in my hand, and then special summon from the grave, and then sync with the Tengu that's already out, and then just get a plus. And then you got 1 Sangan, because you can search pretty much everything in this deck. 2 Effect Veiler. Really, I'd say 2 is more consistent than just 1 Effect Veiler, because with all the Trishula spamming and all effects that are going off, like if your opponent tries to go Shien first turn, like with the Kageki and Kagemusha, you just Effect Veiler their Kageki before they manage to do that. Yeah, so highly recommend running 2 Effect Veilers. 1 Trooper. I usually do not consider running a card Trooper in here, because I mean, you mill top 3, and like I said, the purpose of this deck is not milling, but like he may get 1900, he may become a 1900 beat stick, but that's only for the end of the turn, and I usually lose to stuff during the end phase of when I use his effect, and it just sucks. But like, I could just set him and then just, draw a card and letting him die. And then you got 1 Zephyros. Really, Zephyros in this deck is truly amazing, because you can score a lot of pluses using Zephyros. Really, you should just test it out with a Zephyros if you plan on building this deck, really. And then you got 1 Chaos Sorcerer, because you run a lot of different lights and darks. You have usually a balanced amount of lights and darks, and why wouldn't you run Chaos Sorcerer? Because he gets rid of Shien, he gets rid of Stardust, he gets rid of a lot of shit. You got 1 Spirit Reaper, prevents you from getting OTK'd, like if you're going up against 6 Ams and they try to go Shien first turn and then drop 3 Kizans and 1 Grandmaster and try to attack for game. and your opponent just cries. Then you got 2 Pot of Avarice. Usually the first turn when you're playing this deck, you will really have 5 targets for this card, and this card's just too good to pass up. 1 Mind Control, because you run a lot of tuners in this deck. Just take control of your opponent's monster and then sync with it, and then just screw your opponent over. Then you got 1 1-for-1, because you have 4 targets in this deck, and really, if you have at least 3 targets in the deck, I highly recommend using 1 1-for-1. It's just too good. Then you got Foolish Burial, dump your Plague Spreader, dump your Glow Up Bulb, Spore, Dandelion, or anything else. This card's just too good to pass up. You got Dark Hole, MST, and the rest are just staple cards. For the traps, you run 1 Call the Haunted, 1 Mirror Force, 2 Solemn Warning, 1 Judgment, 1 Limit Reverse, and a Torrential Tribute. For the extra deck, I run 2 formulas, 1 Armory Arm, 1 Hyper Librarian. I'd like to give a big shout out to Magic Playable for getting me this. Go rate, comment, subscribe to his channel. I'll have a annotation to his channel right here. So yeah, really, go subscribe to him. I got, sorry for the glare, by the way, 1 Catastor, 1 Iron Chain, 1 Brionic, 1 Arcanite, 1 Black Rose, 1 Ancient Fairy, Stardust, Colossal Fighter, Scrap Dragon, Trishula, and a Shooting Star. So yeah, there's the extra deck. I'll show you guys my side deck. So we got 2 Maxis. I know we have, yeah, 2 Maxis against special summoning guys that special summon a lot during the first turn, like Samurais, what else, like Scraps, I think, and other stuff. You got 2 Thunder Kings against Gravekeepers, Samurais, or any other deck that searches. Plus, if you can't stop your opponent from going first turn Xian when you play Sams, you can just sack him and get rid of Xian. You got 2 Penguin Soldier, those pesky mirror matches, as well as any other match that just involved synchro spamming. Then you got 2 Cyber Dragons, Beat Sticks against GKs or Gravekeepers, or actually Glad Beasts, yeah, Glad Beasts and Gravekeepers. And then 2 Puppet Plants against Sams or GKs. Just take control of their stuff. They can't negate it with Xian, and just go shenanigans. 1 Ally Salvo. Surprisingly, collecting this card was a good idea, because this card really, it wrecks over Hyperion, Fableds, Heroes sometimes, and Worms, which by the way should not have been a top tier deck in the first place. Really, this card's just too good to pass up as not being a side deck card, especially with all those decks actually topping, surprisingly. So yeah, 1 Ally Salvo. Plus, it's another target for Debris Dragon, if you ever need it. 1 Nobleman against mirror matches or against GKs. Double Chain Disappearance. And a D-Prison. So yeah, that's the deck. Let me know what you think in the comment below. Just do a quick little review about what the main deck is. And once again, big shout out to Darkwing 0x0 for the sick mat right here. Really, go subscribe to her, and go subscribe to Magic Playable for the getting me the Librarian right here. Really big shout out to him. Yep, and I guess I'll see you next time. Later.